Yeah, time for a round 24 preview, the penultimate round of the regular season. At this point, I'm going to be honest, don't know about you guys. I'm sick of the regular season. I just want to get into finals. Might be because I'm a Tigers fan, but honestly, I'm just happy with the top eight right now. I reckon we just call it off, call it a day. Nah, but all jokes aside, I do think the season is a couple of weeks too long. I think the gap between Origin 3 and Finals Week 1 is too long. Because you get time to pick up the momentum again, and then it's sort of like it's hard to maintain it into finals. For me, it should be like 22 rounds. Origin finishes maybe around 18. You get a good month to really build back into the season, and then finals, bang, you're pumped. So I don't know. That's just what I reckon. So Thursday night, we've got the Knights versus the Titans. This is a huge game in terms of the season. If the Titans lose this, they could be in danger of missing out, and the Knights secure finals, I'm pretty sure. And if the Titans win this, I don't think it affects the Knights too much, but it'll really boost in their chances. So the main ins and outs, Frizzell's in, Clemmer's suspended, PG's playing 6, Taylor's out. There wasn't a reason there, so he might have been dropped, might be injured. Mo Fodawaker, Mitch Rain, and Philip Sammy returned for the Titans. And I'm actually tipping the Titans this week. The favourites are the Knights. The line's 1.5. So I'm actually going to take the Knights. I'm actually taking the Titans at the line and head-to-head. I know the Titans haven't been winning too much recently, but I think they've had a lot of honourable losses against a lot of good teams. And yeah, what I saw on Thursday night against the Storm, to me, was a lot better than what the Knights put up in the last couple of weeks. So I know the Knights probably have the star power to beat the Titans, but for me, the Titans all day. 6 o'clock in Mackay, Warriors versus Raiders. Another really good game. Similar position on the ladder. Tough one to tip. I think I'm going to go the Raiders. The line's 6.5 in the Raiders' favours, so I might go the Warriors at the line, but I think I'm going to go the Raiders head-to-head. I know the Warriors are in really good form, but the Raiders actually, as I mentioned in the review before, I actually think they're going under the radar a little bit. They obviously should be doing better than they are. I'm not saying they're doing well, but they're being competitive in a lot of games, and I think that's sort of being unnoticed because they're not getting the results. So I think if they bring that physicality that they have in the last month to this game, I think they'll be too strong for the Warriors, and I think the Warriors will back down. I don't think they're the biggest fan of a physical fight. Then we've got the old derby, the Roosters versus the Rabbitohs. The two foundation clubs, I guess. Balmain would have something to say about that, and I'm sure a few others, but you know what I mean. Kieran and Nat Butcher injured. Lachlan Lamb to play centre. Oh, I didn't read the ins and outs for the Warriors Raiders, but at this time, actually, no, I mentioned them. Sean O'Sullivan in for Harris DeVita, which is really weird. So Harris DeVita dropped. Chad Townsend remained in the team, except he has not won a game for the Warriors. I didn't get that. Nick Arima back on the bench. Matt Lodge in for Jermaine Tunua-Brown. Nickel Klugster on the bench again. Horsburgh returns from his Bulldogs loan to be on the bench. Sorry about that. Lockie Lamb to play centre. Egan Butcher to play back row. Kieran Kalamatangi out for 2 weeks suspension. Mansour season likely over, unfortunately. Jackson Polo to replace him for the rest of the year. Rabbitohs line is 12.5. I think the Roosters are the most unpredictable team of this at the moment. Like, I have no idea how good they are. I'm going to have to tip the Rabbitohs, but I'm probably going to take the Roosters at the line. I think 12.5 is pretty generous to a team that just got beaten comfortably by the Panthers. But I will be tipping the Rabbitohs. I think their form's too good, and the Roosters, they've got a lot of players in their team who are pretty inexperienced. Some are playing out of position, so I think the Rabbitohs get the job done. Dragons versus Cowboys Saturday afternoon in Rockhampton, which was an interesting grass. I'll say that much. Probably should have been trimmed a little bit more before kickoff last week. But Tyrell Sloan to replace Matt Duffy. Blake Laurie returns. Jaden Sullivan to play 9. Freddie Lussick, I believe, on the bench as a lone player for the Dragons. Tamalolo, Felton, Tuolangi return for the Cowboys. Holmes moves to centre. Griffin Neem back on the bench from suspension. Dragons favourites, line's 3.5. This is another tough one. This could be a great round of rugby league, actually. My initial thought was to tip the Dragons. Seeing those Cowboys ins, I am tempted, and they are due. That's all I'll say. The Dragons have looked decent in the last couple of weeks for about 60 minutes. I like that they're playing the youth. I think the youth are obviously the future of the club. It's an obvious statement. However, Cowboys are due. A lot of ins. I'm actually going to go the Cowboys. Could be dumb because the Dragons are also due, but who cares at this point in the season? Sharks versus Broncos. Saturday, second game. Tolman in for the Sharkies. Gamble sadly ruled out for the year for the Broncos. That's about all the news there. Sharks favourites. Lions 5.5. Got to tip the Sharkies. Unfortunately, they're in the finals hunt, so I think they've got more to play for. Broncos look good on Sunday, but they just scraped a victory, really. And if it wasn't for Reece Walsh's kicking, they wouldn't have got the job done. Storm versus Eels, primetime Saturday night. You got to tip the Storm. The Lions 22.5. There are a few team changes. Brandon Smith, Justin Olam, Jerome Hughes return. Hines shifted to the bench, interestingly. George Jennings out again, same injury. Dean Eremaya returns. Fergo replaces Sevo for the Eels. I actually don't think they're going to win by that much. I think the Eels will keep it tight. Not like 6 points or anything, but I don't think they're going to lose by 22.5. I don't think the game's going to be... I don't think we're ever going to think the Eels are going to win, but I'm going to go the Storm. Storm comfortably, but not quite 22.5. Then Sunday, we've got a double header at Redcliffe, which I'm really excited for. Well, actually, I've just remembered the second half of it. Not excited for that, but did enjoy Redcliffe footy the other weekend. Seagulls versus Bulldogs. Turbo's back. Brad Parker's back. There's about 68 changes for the Dogs. Not going to read them out. The line's 29.5. For Manly, got to tip Manly head-to-head. But I'll probably take Bulldogs at the line. I know their team's looking pretty atrocious right now, but Bulldogs, I swear Bulldogs don't get blown out. Could be wrong. Manly could win by 80, but yeah, obviously Manly head-to-head. And then sadly, the culmination of the round, Panthers-Tigers at Redcliffe. Look, I'm a Tigers fan, and I'm not excited for this. We looked so bad on Saturday, and the Panthers look like they just hit form again. Fisher Harrison to O return. Just our luck. Dylan Edwards named. Don't mind that, actually. Dewey out for the year. Mentioned that before. Horrible news. Jock Bannon picked to play 6. Happy with that. It might be a tough game for him, but give the young man a chance. Jacob Little returns at 9. Simpkin to the bench. Definitely enjoy having 2 hookers. I don't think either of them are good enough or fit enough to play 80 minutes on their own yet. Seyfarth back on the bench. Really happy for him. Was worried about his injury when Josh Alloway really dangerously came late third man in. I forget there's a name for it. Is it cannibal tackle? I don't know. It sounded like I just said cannibal, but I meant cannonball. Seyfarth back on the bench. Happy for that. Tuolangi, Simpkins, Walters dropped. I think pretty stiff on Tuolangi. Simpkins and Walters deserved horrible defense in the middle on the weekend. Panthers are the favourites. Lions 28.5. I'm taking the Tigers at the line. Not sure why. Don't see us getting whipped. Could be mistaken because we are looking shite at the moment. I think the 2 wins against the Bulldogs and the Cowboys was very disguising of our actual form. The head-to-head, put your life savings on it. I'm happy to jinx it because I'm a Tigers fan. Put your life savings on it. The line, might take the Tigers at the line, honestly. I know 28.5. It's quite a big amount of points. Could see it being, a 40 to 12. Actually, that's 28.5. Could see it being a 38 to 12. There you go. That's not 28.5. But that is the end of my round 24 preview. I only got one more regular season preview, which is really exciting. So pumped for finals. Wish they were this weekend, to be honest. But hopefully we get crowds in for finals. But actually, I'm pretty sure the whole season's in Brisbane anyway. But yeah, that's all.
It's a miracle. Oh, yeah. What about that one? Unbelievable. Balotelli. Aguero. Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.